Please like and subscribe to Anything Agriculture. It is important that we continue to make good content for you, so if you like and subscribe, I can continue to do that. Thank you. This is warm season grasses, and these are grasses that will thrive in a rotational grazing situation. Warm season grasses are usually thriving during July and August, during the hotter months of the year, after the cool season grasses have gone dormant. We're going to start off by talking about big blue stem. Big blue stem is known as the prince of the tall grass prairie. For good reason, it gets very, very tall. Big blue stem can grow between 4 and 8 feet tall, hence big blue stem, and it has an amazing root structure, can reach below the surface up to 12 feet. This is a great grass for erosion control issues. Big blue stem has great palatability, meaning most things will like to eat it. It grows very well during July and August, during those hot months. It has an enormous root system, so it is fairly drought resistant. It supports weight gain for livestock, but really shouldn't be used for lactating dairy. As you see here, this pasture is fairly overgrazed by these sheep. There's still a little bit in it, but not very much. Hopefully this farmer is going to rotate it into a different pasture soon. All right, now we're going to talk about little blue stem. We had big blue stem, and now we have little blue stem. And this is a very, very versatile native grass. It is used for erosion control, and animals like to graze it, and it's been used in landscaping. And it makes a great forage, and it's great to add in to mixed stands. Little blue stem grows about 2 to 4 feet tall. It produces very dense clumps of roots, has excessive deep root system, which makes it very drought tolerant. And it does thrive in a variety of soils, and it can do anything from sandy to rocky, and it kind of does prefer dry conditions with full sun. Little blue stem is a shorter grass, so it doesn't make as much biomass for grazing as, say, big blue stem, but it is an excellent erosion control grass. It is a native, and it's very much drought tolerant, and it's very suitable for grazing in rotational grazing situations. When you add a one season grass to rotational grazing, you want to watch that if that grass or forage gets mature, a lot of times those forages will lose nutritional value. And depending on what you're trying to do for your animals, whether it's weight gain or lactating animals or even just entertainment, you'll need to be aware of that when you are planting in your warm season grasses. Let's talk about eastern gamagrass as a forage. It is a great forage. You can hay eastern gamagrass, and it is great for erosion control. It is highly productive, so it puts on a lot of forage. It is got great nutritional value, so it's really good if you're looking at stocking animals for market. It's a relative of corn, so it is a very versatile grass. Eastern gamagrass can grow between 3 and 9 feet tall. It is extremely productive. So if you need a lot of forage in the summer, maybe to help your market animals or to increase milk production or whatever you need for your animals, this might be an option. It is very productive. It likes to be in wet habitats. Please don't plant this around or near wetlands because it will take it over. It is seen as an invasive in wetlands, but it does tolerate some flooding. It doesn't mind being in poorly drained soils. So this might be a grass that would help you in some very problem areas that you could turn into a summer pasture. Eastern yamagrass is very palatable and very productive and likes wetter habitats, but that can also lead to the problem with it sneaking into wetland territory. It also has poor seed production, and the seed that you do get needs to be stratified, which means it needs to sit in a cold period for some time so that the seeds will germinate. This can be overcome by purchasing pre-stratified seeds, or you can purchase untreated seeds and frost seed them in the winter. You'll find that a lot of warm season grasses tend to be native grasses to the area. Now, I'm going over native grasses in my area, which is the Midwest and Indiana. These work very well here, but do be cautious. Some of these grasses should not be planted near wetlands because they'll take over the wetlands and destroy it. So do use cautious when you're planting these grasses. The next stuff that we're going to talk about is Indian grass. And Indian grass is highly valued for its erosion control properties. It has a very deep root system, and it's a very pretty grass. So if you have an area that might be more visual or is an area that might not be grazed but needs some help with erosion control, this makes a beautiful ornamental grass. It is often found in residential landscaping. It is also excellent for wildlife habitat. And when you look at rotational grazing, you will realize that having wildlife in your pastures is just something that happens. It's a good thing having a diverse population of wildlife that comes through your pastures. Indian grass is a bunching grass that grows in clumps rather than spreading through rhizomes or stolons. This grass can get up to 6 feet tall and can put on quite a bit of biomass. It has a very deep root system, which helps it withstand drought and is great for erosion control and soil stability. It also greens up earlier than other warm season grasses, and it will mature very quickly. So if you need a hit really early in the season, then this is maybe a grass that'll work for you. Indian grass is very palatable to livestock. Most things will eat it. It can be a little hard to establish due to the light, fluffy seeds, but it is great for rotational grazing. Although it cannot tolerate close grazing for long, it will make the grass suffer. Although it is highly palatable, it is best in a rotational grazing system so that it can rest and rejuvenate. It likes wetter soils and poor soils, making it very good for erosion control. One thing I alluded to earlier is the biodiversity of rotational grazing is important for a rotational grazing system. You will have animals that will be coming through that are wildlife, and that is a good thing. That indicates that your rotational grazing system is a healthy system because they won't be there if it's not healthy. So for our last grass we're going to talk about is switchgrass. And switchgrass has gotten a lot of press lately for being used in biofuel production because it puts on a lot of biomass. It is a decent forage, and it is great for erosion control and as a habitat for wildlife. Switchgrass can grow to 3 to 8 feet tall, which puts on a lot of biomass in the summers. It thrives in full sun. It loves well-drained soils, but it is fairly adapted to other conditions. Switchgrass also matures very quick, faster than other warm season grasses. It is very deep rooted and it is very drought tolerant, which makes it a very good grass for hot summer areas. It will tolerate wet sites. It will tolerate poorly drained soils but it can be slow to establish, and it really can't tolerate close grazing. It will damage the root system. This is just a handful of warm season grasses that I have seen work very successfully in rotational grazing systems that I've worked with. There are other options out there. Do feel free to look at your other options and see if they're a better fit for your operation. Each operation is individual. Each operation has its own needs and wants. So feel free to do more research, but hopefully this will give you a handle on what you're looking for. I hope you found this helpful for your small farm homesteading dreams. And as always, please like and subscribe to Anything Agriculture so I can continue to make content that matter to you.